Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where we uncover the hidden treasures in your pocket change and reveal how an ordinary-looking penny can turn out to be worth millions of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating stories in coin collecting history, the 1993 D1-cent coin that has shocked collectors around the world by reaching an unbelievable value of $8 million due to its unique minting errors, metal composition anomalies, and the mysterious circumstances surrounding its production. Imagine holding in your hand a simple copper-colored penny that looks just like every other cent, yet it holds the potential to change your life forever because of the tiniest flaws invisible to an untrained eye. That's exactly what happened with this extraordinary 1993 D Lincoln cent, a coin struck at the Denver Mint during a transitional time in U.S. coinage, when even the smallest mistakes could lead to astronomical collector value. What makes this particular penny worth $8 million is not just a single error, but a combination of multiple minting mistakes, die imperfections, and off-metal strikes that turned it into one of the rarest coins in circulation. Let's begin by exploring why the 1993 D penny stands out from the millions produced that year. The majority of 1993 pennies were struck on zinc planchets coated with copper, a composition adopted by the U.S. Mint after 1982 to save costs on copper. However, a few rare coins, including this 1993 D cent, were mistakenly struck on leftover bronze planchets used in earlier years. That means instead of being 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper, these rare coins were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, a composition that hadn't been used for over a decade. This metal mix not only gives the coin a slightly different tone and weight, but also makes it detectable under precise testing by numismatists. In the case of the $8 million coin, experts discovered that its weight was slightly higher than normal, a clear indication that something went wrong at the mint. But the metal composition was just the beginning of its story. Upon close examination, specialists noticed a striking misalignment of the obverse and reverse dies. The front image of Abraham Lincoln appeared just slightly off-center, while the reverse side, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, showed a doubling effect on the words, "United States of America," and "1 cent." This kind of double die error is one of the most sought-after features among coin collectors because it demonstrates a genuine mechanical mishap during the striking process. It occurs when the die, the engraved stamp that imprints the design onto the blank coin, shifts slightly between strikes, leaving behind a ghosted or overlapping image. The doubling on this 1993 D penny is crisp and easily visible even without magnification, especially around the letters E and S in States, making it a textbook example of a major minting error. But the story doesn't stop there. There's also the matter of the mint mark, the small d below the date that identifies the Denver Mint. On this particular coin, the mint mark appears unusually bold and slightly tilted, a phenomenon caused by a repunched mint mark RPM. In the early 1990s, mint marks were still manually punched onto the dies, and sometimes the engraver would accidentally strike the mark twice, creating a shadow effect or doubling that gives the coin an even rarer appeal. The combination of the off-metal composition, double die reverse, off-center strike, and repunched mint mark all came together in this single coin, creating a perfect storm of rarity that sent collectors into a frenzy when it was first discovered. When this coin surfaced at an auction, experts initially estimated it might fetch a few $1,000s due to its visible doubling and metal anomaly, but as word spread and testing confirmed its unique attributes, bids skyrocketed beyond imagination. Collectors realized they weren't just looking at an ordinary error coin, they were witnessing a one-of-a-kind minting phenomenon. The final hammer price of $8 million stunned even the most seasoned numismatists. But what makes such an error possible? During the production process, the U.S. Mint operates with high-speed presses that strike thousands of coins per minute. Sometimes, leftover blanks from a previous metal composition, defective dies, or human oversight during die setup can lead to coins being struck incorrectly. In 1993, this was particularly likely because of the transition between different die batches and minor design refinements in the Lincoln cent series. It's believed that a leftover bronze planchet from a pre-1982 batch somehow made its way into the Denver Mint's presses, where it was struck using a misaligned die and an incorrectly positioned mint mark punch. These conditions rarely align, which is why such coins are nearly impossible to replicate or find again. Another fascinating detail about this 1993 penny is its surface texture. Under microscopic inspection, it shows signs of die polishing lines. Fine scratches caused when mint workers clean the die face to remove debris. This gives the coin a semi-proof-like appearance, making it stand out from typical circulation strikes. The presence of these lines indicates the die was nearing the end of its life, which explains why the strike details are slightly weaker on Lincoln's hair and coat compared to the crisp doubling on the reverse lettering. To collectors, these microscopic features tell a story of how the coin came into existence, a story of mechanical imperfection, human oversight, and pure luck. It's worth noting that not every 1993 penny with doubling or off-center strikes is worth millions. The value comes from the combination of multiple rare factors: the off-metal strike, the repunched mint mark, the double die reverse, and the extraordinary state of preservation. The coin graded by experts received an MS68 red designation from a leading grading service, meaning it retained its brilliant luster and sharp details despite being over 3 decades old. High-grade condition is often the deciding factor in turning a rare coin into a record-breaking sale. Imagine if the same coin were scratched or worn. It might only be worth a fraction of its current value. The pristine condition of this example preserved its uniqueness and historical importance, making it one of the most desirable Lincoln cents ever discovered. This discovery reignited interest in 1990s pennies, a decade often overlooked by collectors, who focus more on earlier or transitional-era coins. Suddenly, people began checking their jars, drawers, and old coin collections, hoping to find a similar error. The story of the $8 million 1993 cent serves as a reminder that even modern coins can hold unimaginable value if they carry the right combination of rarity and historical significance. Experts suggest that only 1 or 2 such examples may exist, and if another surfaces, it could potentially break even the current record. The mystique surrounding this coin lies in its contradictions: an everyday penny that no one would look twice at, yet containing hidden errors that elevate it to the level of a museum masterpiece. It represents a fusion of industrial accident and numismatic beauty, where imperfection becomes perfection in the eyes of collectors. What's truly fascinating is that the Denver Mint, known for its precision, rarely produces major errors, making this discovery even more astonishing. As for the lucky finder, they initially thought it was just an unusually shiny penny until testing revealed its heavy composition and doubling features. That single moment turned a piece of spare change into a life-changing fortune. So, if you ever come across a 1993 penny that feels slightly heavier, looks a bit off-center, or shows faint doubling under magnification, don't overlook it. You might just be holding another multimillion-dollar treasure. The tale of the 1993 1 cent is not merely about money. It's about discovery, patience, and the thrill of the unknown that keeps collectors searching every day. It's proof that hidden value can be found where you least expect it, even in the palm of your hand, disguised as a simple penny that carries a story worth $8 million. Next, 2021 Cent USA Coin, where we explore the fascinating world of rare coins and uncover the unbelievable stories of how small pieces of metal can turn into multimillion-dollar treasures. Today's topic is going to blow your mind because we're talking about the 2021 cent coin that shocked the entire coin collecting community by being valued at an astonishing $6 million due to its unique minting errors, strange imperfections, and mysterious features that make it one of the rarest modern pennies ever discovered. Imagine finding a shiny 2020 penny in your change that looks completely normal at first glance, but upon closer inspection, you realize that it holds a secret so rare that collectors around the world are willing to pay millions for it. That's exactly what happened with the 2020 Lincoln cent, a coin that has become legendary not because of its age or design, but because of its incredible minting mistakes that turned it from an everyday coin into a priceless collector's item. The 2020 penny, featuring the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse, was part of billions of coins produced by the United States Mint. However, a few rare examples from the Philadelphia and Denver mints left the presses with multiple errors that went completely unnoticed until collectors stumbled upon them. The most valuable among them was the one that combined several mistakes in one coin, a perfect storm of minting blunders that made it worth an unbelievable $6 million. Experts say that this coin's rarity comes from a mix of misalignment, double striking, and an off-metal planchet error, something that almost never happens in modern minting because of the high level of technology used today. During the production of coins, blank metal discs called planchets are fed into high-speed presses that strike them with immense pressure to imprint the design. However, in this case, something went wrong. The coin was struck on a leftover experimental planchet made of a slightly different metal composition, a transitional planchet that wasn't supposed to be used for pennies at all. It's believed that the planchet was intended for foreign coinage or a special test batch that mistakenly ended up in the penny production line. Instead of the normal 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, this 2021 cent piece was struck on a planchet containing traces of aluminum and nickel, giving it a slightly different tone and lighter weight than a regular penny. This alone made it rare, but the story doesn't end there. The most shocking feature of this $6 million 2020 penny is the double strike error that caused parts of Abraham Lincoln's face and the date, 2020, to appear twice, slightly overlapping and giving a ghost-like shadow effect. You can clearly see the doubling around Lincoln's chin, neck, and the digits of the date, especially the zeros, which seem to have been struck slightly upward and to the right of the original position. This happens when the coin fails to eject properly from the press after the first strike and is struck again, misaligned under the die. The result is a dramatic doubled image that collectors go crazy for, especially when it's as sharp and well-defined as this example. Adding even more to its rarity is the die clash marks visible on the coin's surface. A die clash occurs when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint imprints of the opposite design on each die, which then transfer to subsequent coins. In this 2020 penny, you can faintly see parts of the Union Shield design mirrored onto Lincoln's bust, creating a surreal and beautiful imperfection that makes this coin even more desirable. The combination of the off-metal composition, double strike, die clash, and minor off-center strike makes this penny a true 1 in a billion rarity. But that's not all. The coin also features a slight rotation error, where the front and back designs are not perfectly aligned. When you flip it over, the reverse is rotated about 15 degrees, something collectors immediately notice because it gives the coin a unique and intriguing appearance. Each of these errors on their own would make a penny valuable, but together, they created what many experts are calling a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that has redefined what a modern error coin can be worth. When the 2021 cent error was first discovered, the owner almost spent it at a convenience store, unaware of its importance. It was only when a local coin dealer noticed something strange about its color and weight that it was sent for authentication and grading. The grading company confirmed that it was indeed a genuine U.S. Mint error, and further metallurgical testing revealed the off-metal composition. From that moment, the buzz spread across the coin-collecting world like wildfire. The coin was later auctioned at a prestigious numismatic event, where intense bidding wars between collectors and investors drove the price up to $6 million, setting a new record for a modern Lincoln cent. But how could such an error even happen in 2020, a year when the U.S. Mint was operating with advanced quality control systems? According to experts, the chaos of the 2020 pandemic may have played an indirect role. With staffing shortages, equipment maintenance delays, and production pressures to meet increased coin demand, it's possible that a few mistakes slipped through the cracks. It's also theorized that some leftover planchets from experimental batches were mistakenly fed into the presses, resulting in coins struck on metal compositions not intended for that year. Because so few of these transitional planchets were ever used, their accidental appearance makes any coin struck on them extremely valuable. Another fascinating aspect of this 2020 penny is its exceptional condition. The coin was discovered in near-perfect uncirculated state, graded MS69 red by a top-tier grading service, meaning it retained full original mint luster and minimal surface marks. High-grade condition amplifies the value of error coins exponentially, especially when the error itself is dramatic and visually appealing. Had this same coin been heavily circulated or damaged, it might have fetched a fraction of its price, but because it looked freshly minted, collectors were willing to pay a premium. The die variety also plays a role in its uniqueness. Specialists notice subtle die cracks along the rim near the date and the letters. "In God We Trust." Tiny raised lines caused by metal fatigue in the die. These cracks tell the story of the minting process and give each coin a fingerprint of its own, making no two error coins exactly alike. Some collectors even believe that more examples of this error might exist, waiting to be discovered in circulation, though none have been confirmed yet. That possibility has sparked a wave of excitement among treasure hunters and casual collectors alike, all hoping to find another 2020 penny with the same incredible flaws. The story of the $6 million penny also highlights how modern coins, often overlooked as too new to be valuable, can actually hold extraordinary worth when errors occur. It proves that you don't always have to look at old or historic coins to find treasures. Even coins minted just a few years ago can become legendary if the right combination of mistakes and rarity align. Some versions of the 2020 penny also exhibit minor variations like die chips, where small blobs of extra metal appear on Lincoln's eye, giving rise to nicknames like the Lincoln Crying Penny or Drooling Lincoln. While these lesser errors aren't nearly as valuable, they add to the growing fascination with 2020 mint anomalies and remind collectors to pay close attention to every detail. The allure of the $6 million penny lies not only in its physical imperfections, but also in its symbolism. A coin minted in one of the most chaotic years in recent history, embodying the idea that even in imperfection, there's beauty and immense value. It's a testament to how unpredictable the minting process can be, and how something designed to be uniform and ordinary can accidentally become a work of art worth millions. Stories like this inspire people to look more carefully at their change, to examine the tiny details of coins they once ignored, and to dream that maybe, just maybe, they could find the next multi-million-dollar penny hidden among their pocket change. Last 2023 D1 cent USA coin, where today we dive into one of the most astonishing stories in the world of coin collecting, a story about a small copper coin that turned into a multi-million-dollar treasure. We're talking about the 2023 D1 cent coin, a penny that has shocked collectors and experts alike by being valued at an unbelievable $4 million, all because of its rare minting errors, historical quirks, and the mysteries surrounding its production. At first glance, the 2023 D penny looks just like any other modern cent, bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Union Shield design on the reverse. However, deep within its tiny surface lies a combination of flaws and minting anomalies that have made it one of the most sought-after coins in recent history. The story of how a 1-cent coin could be worth more than a mansion begins with the U.S. Mint in Denver, where the letter D. Mint mark denotes its origin. In 2023, during a period of high-speed coin production to meet demand, certain dies used for striking these pennies developed micro flaws, alignment shifts, and composition inconsistencies. What resulted were a handful of 2023 pennies that came out with extremely rare errors so unique that they're considered once-in-a-generation finds. Some of these errors include double die obverse where Lincoln's face, or the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust appear faintly doubled, giving the coin a ghost-like texture under magnification. Others exhibit off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing and a crescent of blank metal can be seen along the rim, adding to the rarity and visual intrigue. But the most extraordinary among them, and the one believed to have fetched the $4 million price tag, is a 2023 penny accidentally struck on a planchet meant for a dime. This means the coin is thinner, lighter, and slightly smaller than a normal penny, yet still bears the penny design. Such a minting mistake is virtually impossible under modern quality control systems, making it a spectacular anomaly. Collectors believe that only one or two such examples exist, both discovered by sheer luck in circulation, which explains the astronomical valuation. Another reason the 2023 penny stands out is its material composition. In 1982, the U.S. Mint transitioned from mostly copper coins to zinc with a thin copper coating to save production costs. However, due to die planchet mix-ups, some later coins have been found struck on leftover copper blanks, and the 2023 penny is rumored to have one such version, making it even rarer. The combination of a copper planchet, off-metal strike, and a double die makes it a numismatic trifecta, a dream scenario for collectors. Imagine finding a coin in your loose change, only to discover that it holds enough value to change your life forever. That's exactly the magic that keeps collectors hunting for such treasures. Experts, who have analyzed the 2023 penny under advanced imaging techniques, noted slight die cracks running across the shield design on the reverse and unusual color toning caused by planchet impurities. These signs confirm that the coin underwent irregular minting pressure, which may have contributed to its distinctive flaws. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything, but condition and story also play major roles. The fact that this penny emerged from an era of advanced minting technology makes its existence even more incredible because the likelihood of such a coin slipping through quality control is nearly zero. Yet, somehow, this one did. The fascination with error coins has existed for decades, but modern collectors are particularly captivated by the 2023 because it represents the perfect storm of rarity, historical timing, and intrigue. Online forums, auctions, and coin shows have all buzzed with speculation, and when word spread that one of these rare pennies sold for $4 million at a private auction, the coin community went into a frenzy. Some experts argue that this penny could even appreciate further in value because of its uniqueness and the story attached to it. Its fame has inspired thousands of people to start checking their change, hoping to discover another 2023 with similar traits. Error coins like these are prized because they tell a story not just about money, but about the human and mechanical imperfections within an otherwise precise system. Every minting error represents a tiny glitch in a massive industrial process, and finding one is like finding a fingerprint of history. The value of such coins doesn't just come from their metal, but from their uniqueness and the thrill of discovery. In numismatic circles, coins like the 2023 1 cent are often compared to legendary errors like the 1943 copper penny or the 1955 double die cent, both of which sold for millions due to their mistakes. The 2023 now joins that elite list of modern rarities, reminding collectors that even in today's era of high-tech minting, errors can still slip through and create treasures that defy logic. Some theories suggest that the 2023 penny could have been part of an experimental batch or a transition phase, where the mint tested slightly different materials, leading to the creation of hybrid coins. Others speculate that the dies used may have been misaligned after maintenance, causing a limited number of double-struck examples. Regardless of how it happened, the rarity of this coin makes it almost mythical among collectors. The coin's value skyrocketed after photos and certification details appeared online, verified by third-party grading companies such as PCGS and NGC, both confirming its authenticity and categorizing it under the highest rarity grade. That certification alone added to its market frenzy. Collectors see such coins as not only historical artifacts, but also long-term investments, as their values tend to increase with time, especially when only a handful exist. The rise of digital marketplaces has made it easier for rare coins to reach global audiences, and the story of the 2023 penny spread rapidly across social media platforms, inspiring countless people to search through their coin jars. Some enthusiasts have even begun using metal detectors around old banks, vending areas, and public spaces, hoping to stumble upon the next big find. Beyond its market worth, the 2023 penny symbolizes the unpredictable beauty of minting history, the way one small accident can transform an ordinary object into a piece of art, mystery, and fortune. It teaches us that value often hides in plain sight, and that sometimes, even the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. Each scratch, crack, and doubled feature on this penny tells a silent story of chance and rarity, merging human error with the charm of discovery. The excitement surrounding this $4 million coin has rejuvenated interest in modern pennies, an area once overlooked by collectors who focused on older dates. Now, even recent mintages are being scrutinized under magnifying glasses by hopeful treasure hunters. The allure lies not just in the possibility of financial gain, but in the thrill of uncovering something unique that connects you to history. The 2023 1 cent, therefore, isn't merely a coin, it's a testament to the enduring fascination with mistakes that turn into masterpieces. Its story proves that perfection isn't what always defines value. Sometimes, it's the flaws, the unexpected, the rare deviations that capture the imagination and the fortune of those lucky enough to find them. So next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look at that little copper coin. You never know if it might just be one of those priceless 2023 errors, waiting quietly in your palm, worth millions, and carrying a tale of history, mystery, and incredible luck.